who was valiantly trying to hold back her tears, and marvelled at the extent of her bravery at the tender age of 14. Lana was only older by 4 years, but she had had more time with their mother and had already made her bow to Russian society. Irina had always been far more sheltered. Still, Lana knew that she should at least tell her a part of the truth. Irina was old enough to understand what was at stake. She took a deep breath and sat her sister on the edge of the bed. "We cannot trust in our uncle any longer. He means us harm. I have heard him confess it with my own ears." Irina's eyes widened to huge orbs, and Lana rushed to soothe her. "But you must have faith in me. Believe me when I say I will make us safe again." The tears that had been shimmering in Irina's eyes broke free, coursing down her cheeks in an unhindered waterfall. "I believe you," she sobbed. "But I miss Mama." "I do too, but you need to be strong, Irina." Lana wiped her sister's face with her sleeve. "I cannot do this without you, so dry your eyes and pack what you can. A few simple gowns and whatever else you treasure." She watched her sister rally, and although her fingers shook with every swiftly chosen item she placed in the small suitcase, Lana knew that she could count on Irina not to fall apart. At least, not until they arrived somewhere safe, out of the reach of their greedy uncle. Lana had already canvassed her mother's rooms, untouched since the accident, and emptied her jewelry cases. Gems of every hue glittered among ropes of gold and silver. She hoped it would be enough to get them to safety. Her uncle controlled their inheritance and the small monthly allowance they were given, though Lana had not thought to save a single kopeck of it. How could she have planned for this? Lana lifted the 2 cases she had packed for herself earlier that evening, one of which was filled with something much more valuable than clothing and treasured memories. When her father had been alive, she had often seen him tuck the small key to his private safe inside a hidden desk drawer. After his death, she had found the key and used it to open the safe. There had been no money, but a number of papers and documents, many of them strangely worded love letters written by her uncle. Curious as to what they said, Lana had kept the documents rather than turn them over to her uncle, a stroke of serendipity it seemed. They had been an entertaining puzzle to try to sort out while she worked through her grief, and they'd made her feel closer to her departed father. But now, something else her uncle had said to Baron Zakharov that afternoon in the hunting room about searching for evidence and a cipher had made her remember them. The papers had to be important if he was looking for them. Lana had hidden the documents in the lining of her own suitcase, determined that her uncle would never get his traitorous hands on them. The last thing she packed was a small portrait of her family that had stood for years upon her parents' bedside table. Leaving everything else behind would hurt dearly, but it was the smart thing to do, the safest thing to do. "Ready?" she asked her sister, fastening a heavy woolen cloak similar to the one she wore around Irina. "I think so." Hand in hand they slipped down the narrow back stairs of the house, careful not to make any noise or wake the sleeping servants. Once outside they hurried across the darkened grounds, making their way by the light of a crescent moon to the far end of the estate. There, on a rarely used horse trail, a plain black coach sat waiting, just as she had requested in the note to her father's trusted, yet anonymous, friend. The horses whinnied nervously beside a hulking shadow of a man. Lana's heartbeat tripped. For a moment, she experienced real fear. What if the note had been intercepted by her uncle? What if this giant was his man? "Princess," the shadowy figure said, "Lord Langlevitt bids you welcome." Lord Langlevitt? Lana did not know this man, but his initials aligned with the ones she had written on the note, L.L. He had come, just as her father had promised. The terror drained from her body, and with a nod to her sister, Lana let the man help Irina into the waiting coach. She glanced over her shoulder, looking in bitter-sweet sorrow at her home, her birthright. Lana gritted her teeth at the thought of her devious, conniving uncle. One day she would find a way to get Volkonsky Palace back and bring